Hello everyone! We were taking so far through Warlords of Draenor, which reminded me of the Warchief that could have been. Vol'jin of the Darkspear Tribe was the first non-orc to pick up the mantle of Warchief of the Horde, only to be quickly killed off and kinda wasted. But there is potential for future stories, so let's talk about the Warchief that left far too soon.
I speak for the Horde.
When Thrall went around following the guidance of the Prophet Medivh during Warcraft 3, he came across Sen'jin and the Darkspear Tribe. Vol'jin at the time was going through his Shadowhunter trials, together with his best friend Xal'atath, to which both trolls were given trials and visions of the future. Vol'jin saw visions of Garrosh fighting Cairn, and the Darkspear walking away from the Warchief as they could not follow him onto the Dark Path, whereas Xal'atath saw himself leading Darkspear fighters away from the tribe, as in his eyes their leader was weak, so he saw himself betraying Vol'jin. Upon leaving First Home, the place where they'd been tested and found worthy, the visions also left their minds, and Vol'jin's attention was quickly drawn to leadership of the Darkspear Tribe, as his father Sen'jin, he'd been sacrificed by the Murlocs to the Sea Witch, which was actually a Naga, as we would discover with the Cataclysm revamp, and a brand new starting experience for the Darkspear trolls. His father's death left Vol'jin in charge, who decided to stick with Thrall and the Hordes. Even when Prophet Zul and the Zandalari trolls showed up with plans of conquest, reclaiming the glory they had lost, Vol'jin knew that the Horde was his family, and the Darkspear would not fall to the trap of trying to hold on to the past that no longer existed, which is something the other troll tribes massively suffer from.
You would turn your back on your own people?
The Horde is my people.
Warchief Thrall would leave the Horde, as he was called to save the world with the Cataclysm, and instead of making a Cairn or a Vol'jin the Warchief, he decided to leave Garrosh Hellscream in charge, despite Garrosh himself telling him that he wasn't the right orc for the job. Regardless, Thrall left to go save the world, and while Garrosh became quite popular among some of the players and some of the members of the Hordes, he was also quite a hothead, which led to a Mak'gora with Cairn Bloodhoof, and, as Vol'jin had seen in those visions, the Darkspears walking away from Orgrimmar.
And what exactly do you think you're going to do about it? Your threats are hollow. Go slink away with the rest of your kind to the slums. I will endure your filth in my throne room no longer!
I know exactly what I'll be doing about it, son of Hellscream. I'll watch and wait as your people slowly become aware of your ineptitude. I'll laugh as they grow to despise you, as I do. And when that time comes, that your failure is complete and your power is meaningless, I will be there to end your rule, swiftly and silently. You will spend your reign glancing over your shoulder and fearing the shadows. For when the time comes and your blood be slowly draining out, you will know exactly who fired the arrow that pierced your black heart.
You have sealed your fate, troll.
And you yours, Warchief.
The Darkspear never gonna
The
give up.
Darkspear are here because I led them here. Orgrimmar be no home, long as it be under Hellscream's hand. Still I fear I was letting my temper drive me to being rash. Thrall devoted himself to making the Horde what it is, so I've no eagerness to be leaving it on a whim. This will be needing much more thought.
Keep in mind, these were the people that were supposed to advise Garrosh in his role as Warchief of the Horde, at least so Thrall had envisioned it. Instead, Garrosh did what Garrosh wanted to do, taking the Horde into the future the way that he envisioned it, eventually only listening to those that would sing his praises and cheer them on, sweeping aside those that dared to criticize him, leading to a Vol'jin nearly losing his life for speaking out, and once again had to ask himself what the right path for him and the Dark Trolls was. While recovering in Pandaria, he'd have a whole book to himself called Vol'jin Shadows of the Hordes, another defining moment in which the Darkspear asks himself where he belongs, where the Darkspear belong and trolls in general. He reflects on the troll tribes allied to the Thunder King, once more trying to reclaim what was lost in the past. He reflects on the direction Garrosh has taken the Horde and the suffering that came with it, and decided that this was not the way. He could not let the Horde, let his family fall like that. So, once recovered, he returned home and led the Darkspear Rebellion, fighting our way into the siege of Orgrimmar, where we kicked Garrosh out of the mantle of Warchief. But then what? Jaina Proudmoore wanted to dismantle the Horde altogether. But that wasn't going to happen, nor did Varian Wrynn agree with that plan. The Horde would remain, but who was going to step up to lead them? I remember doing a video on this back when, as there was quite a bit of discussion and debate within the community as to who should be given the title of Warchief. Should Thrall simply come back? Maybe it was time for Lor'themar and the Blood Elves to lead. Gammon was suggested, but ultimately the choice was made.
From this day forward, Vol'jin, if you lead, I will follow.
I am not worthy. But I will give my all for the Horde.
Vol'jin of the Darkspear Tribe, now Warchief of the Hordes. The future was looking real interesting. For the first time, a different race was leading the Horde. What could that possibly mean for the future? Will Orgrimmar become a lot less spiky? Are we going to see an introduction of Shadow Hunters becoming an available class? What will the identity and future of the Horde now be? And that's where the waste bit comes in. As Vol'jin's reign as Warchief, it saw him congratulate us with our garrison.
Hero, our trust in you was not misplaced. You and the armies you command are now our greatest weapon against the Iron Horde. Lead us to victory, General.
And that's about it. Then he got killed off on the Broken Shore.
They're coming from behind! Cover the flame!
Warchief!
Do not let the Horde die this day. Windrunner, come forward.
Warchief,
The lower spirits say death will claim me soon.
in the end, death claims us all. But the Horde will live on.
I have never trusted you. Nor would I have ever imagined in our darkest time that you would be the one to save us. The spirits have granted me clarity, a vision. They whisper a name. Many will not understand, but you must step out of the shadows and lead. You must be Warchief.
And honestly, even with the answers that have been given, I still don't understand Vol'jin. So for a bit, they push the mystery of why did Vol'jin make Sylvanas the Warchief. There was something going on in the afterlife, but the full truth wouldn't be revealed until Sylvanas shattered the helmet of domination, opened up a rift straight into the Shadowlands. There we learned that it was the Loa Mueh'zala, allied to the jailer, that had whispered into Vol'jin's ears and manipulated the Darkspear into turning Sylvanas into the Warchief. All of it according to the jailer's plans. But seeing how we're in the afterlife, at least Vol'jin was able to play a part in spirit form. Together we saved some of the Loa, including Rezan, Loa of Kings, that had died during battle for Azeroth, and then something quite incredible happened. The essence of Rezan, what was left of it, it merged with Vol'jin's spirits, and then they offered a path to the troll so that he, like others that ended up in Ardenweald, he could recover and perhaps one day return to Azeroth as something.
Intriguing. A mortal soul entwined with the essence of a Loa. I cannot say what fate will befall you, Vol'jin of the Darkspear. But I offer you this chance to one day be reborn anew.
I be deeply honored, Your Majesty. Champion, thank you for all you done for me, in life and in death. Looks like old Vol'jin be starting a new hunt, after I be getting some rest.
And therein lies the potential of turning Vol'jin's character arc into something else and give him some part to play. Originally, I thought that Vol'jin could make a return into an advisory role as Loa of Kings. This could have been beyond just the Zandalari, just the Trolls, or even just the Horde. He could have also been an advisor to young King Anduin. Perhaps help him overcome the darkness forced upon him by Sylvanas and the jailer, but of course also advising someone like Queen Talungi, as her bargain at the time with Bonsumdi, it was not one that she had willingly made. It was her father, King Arastekan, who had sold his bloodline into this bargain with Bonsumdi. In my mind, Vol'jin could have taken this role, but the story has progressed, and Talungi has already dealt with her father's bargain, and has now willingly, all on her own accord, entered that bargain with Bonsumdi. Which means that Vol'jin's future is anyone's guess. We have the former Shadowhunter, now spirit-infused with Loa powers, but even before that, it was suggested that his father had become a Loa.
Rezan be smarter than I thought. Maybe one day there go be a new Loa making deal with old Bonsumdi.
Bonsumdi was also a priest before he too was elevated into the ranks of Loa, so as a betting man, I think that Vol'jin could play a part in that way. Maybe even as a Loa to future Shadowhunters, if and when they would become its own class. Story-wise, there's the cosmic war that's raging on. As a being so strongly connected to Ardenweald, he could make for an ally of the Winter Queen, perhaps join us into the domain of life where Elune, the Winter Queen's so-called sister, hangs out. Extend that further, and you could have him look at what was done to him. Mueh'zala acting on the orders of the jailer, but why did the jailer do what he done diddly do to the Shadowhunter? We don't know. There's some sort of imagined threat. What if that threat becomes a reality? Could Vol'jin guide us into taking care of it? Maybe, but they do seem to be very wary of going anywhere near the jailer in the story, so perhaps best not. I honestly don't know. I am noticing that faction pride and the desire of wanting to feel connected to the race and to the factions, it's rising up. Especially since it has taken such a backseat with councils and everybody having a voice now. We haven't really dealt with the races and the factions throughout Dragonflight or the War Within. You can tell that people are starting to miss it. Vol'jin just returning to the Horde. It might be a bit too much of a reset. But what if he would elevate the Darkspear's current leader just a little bit? Or, as I'm typing this out, in Midnight, we know that we're going to go to Quel'Thalas, which is very close to Xul-Aman, where a big old Kefrax is buried underneath its ruins. Could this darkness be enough for Vol'jin to unite the ancient troll tribes still around, unite them under one banner, together with Talanji, and unite against whatever is locked underneath Xul-Aman? Maybe. All in all, I just really would like to see Vol'jin come back into the story in some way, shape or form, because it was just such a waste of a build-up to see him go so quickly, and there are some cool scenarios or storylines to think of where they could definitely use him. If you got any more ideas, by all means, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe if you like my videos, as I upload a new one at least every Monday. And with that, until next time, see ya!